All right, hello and welcome here for a session of FitEssentials. If you are wearing any blood flow bands, we've got our air in, so you can go and add that now. We're gonna be starting down on the floor today, so you'll want a yoga mat down on the ground. Later in the hour, you'll have an option, either a bent over row, or if you wanna do some seated row, you wanna have one of those nice long bands available for that. That's coming up in our second series. In the meantime, let's go ahead and make our way to hands and knees. We'll stretch out our forearms and wrists, do a couple cat-cows, and get into our midline work. So when you're ready, as you come on down, turn your palms down, spread your fingers nice and wide. Draw that stomach in, just lean on back. And a nice stretch for the forearms. From here, you can just gently rock side to side. And then we're gonna rotate those hands in so those fingers are facing and interlacing one another, and then make some nice big rotations. Our bird dog, or quadruped knee to elbow, also known as that bird dog, is our first exercise coming up. We're gonna have 45 seconds on each side. Swivel the other way if you haven't changed directions. Okay, why don't you take your toys over there? And then when you're ready, go ahead and come into a kneeling position and some wrist circles. Change directions of those circles. Good, and then back of the hands together, fingers pointing down, draw the shoulders down, draw the elbows down. And if you want to sit back on the heels as you do this. A couple more nice deep breaths. And when you're ready, go ahead and shake it out. All right, we're gonna get started here in 15 seconds with that bird dog. So as you come into position, draw that midline in, spread the hand nice and wide, hands underneath each shoulder. And then let's start with the right hand and the left leg. So when you're ready, you're gonna extend that right arm straight out in front, left leg straight down behind. And then you're gonna bring the hand to touch that left knee. Breathing in as you extend nice and long from the tips of the fingers to the bottom of the foot. Breathe in as you draw together. Once you know that movement, chin in, looking straight down to that mat. I think I said the breathing long. Breathe in as you reach, breathe out as you draw together. And you're really trying to pay attention to that midline. It's really easy to overextend, let the hips drop side to side. Lift up out of that downside shoulder, and then on that left side, and then keep that left hip nice and level to that left shoulder. 10 seconds left. And smooth movements here. Last one. When you finish this rep, just switching sides, place the opposite hand down, center through the middle, breathe in, stretch it out. Common things we'll see is that back leg will sometimes rotate out and away. So focus on the toe, straight down towards the floor, belly drawn in. Try to notice the front of the neck as well. Draw the chin up and in. Just a slight engagement. Don't let that head start to sink forward. Pausing in those in points, drawing it together. Almost there. And last time, stretch it long, draw it in. And take a pause. Good job. Child stretch first. Reach those arms straight out. Lower the hips on back. A brief pause here. Give a little stretch to that low back. And then we're going to roll onto our back. Got a 60-second glute bridge coming up next. So when you're ready, rolling onto that back, draw those draw those shoulder blades underneath you. Set the feet nice and flat. If you're feeling stiff at all, you can do a little extra stretching. If you're ready to join us, we're going to start here in 5. Hands to the side, and 2, 1. Raise the hips, draw the chin in towards the chest. So breathe in as you lower, breathe out as you open. Kind of treat this as a warm-up in and of itself. Activate the back of the body, open the front of the hips. We do these bridges a lot because just one of those basic movements that we need that we don't oftentimes have in our everyday life. Try to think like long lower back position. Don't just crunch your spine together. Wonderful. As we're going into the second half of this minute, if you're feeling fairly awake today, if you want to go into that march, you can bring one leg up, set that foot down, and then raise that other side up, either with the straight legs up in the air or the bent. Nice. And then we're going to have another round through this. And on that second round, you'll have the option to march throughout. Very good. I really find that I need to use my upper body a bit more when I'm going to that single leg, more focus of driving down to the backs of the arms. And 2, 1, everybody rest. Lower those hips on down, double knee to chest, hug your legs in, rock your body side to side. 30 seconds, we'll be back to that bird dog on set 2. So however you want to treat this time, continue to roll that low back, or when you're ready, make your way back over to all fours. 15 seconds till we start. All right, so draw that midline in. As you place the hands down, it's going to be the right hand and the left leg to begin. Draw the chin in nice and level through the middle. Here we go. Breathing in as you stretch long, breathing out. Just the fingertips touch the thigh, not that big, deep crunch. So we're looking to keep the spine nice and level. Good. Once you know that movement, looking down, and then just feel the body move, stretching, tips of the fingers, sole of the foot. As you extend that left leg, try to squeeze the glute on that left side. Get as much of that muscle fiber to fire as you can. Wonderful. 10 seconds left. When you finish this next rep, go ahead and switch sides. Spread the hands wide as you place that right hand down. And then when you're ready, left hand, right leg. Reposition the head and neck. More control of movement for this exercise than speed. Gets our midline and backside ready for the next series. Good, now we're really focused on that right glute. Squeeze that tush as you extend that right leg, toe pointing down. Nice. Chin still drawn in, lifting up out of that support shoulder. 10 seconds. Final rep, stretch it long, draw it in, and come on back. Returning to the backside. Good. Before we jump into our bridge, we're going to go 2-knee twist as we come on down. So arms come to the side, legs together. Bring both legs to one leg way, turn the head, look the other way. And then nice and smooth, up and across, same thing, other side. Let's get about 2 touches each direction. Miss is giving Bruce some good love today. A little extra distraction during our midline work. All right, friends, we're gonna get started here in just under 15 seconds. So we'll get ourselves ready. Draw those shoulder blades underneath you. Place the hands down at the sides. And then when you're ready, you'll start with both feet together, coming on up. And then you can go into that march as you choose. Hips as level as you can. And keeping the knees bent this time, has a little bit faster cycle time. And then you'll really feel how you need to drive to that foot. When you bring both feet back to the floor, kind of recheck after a few reps. See if you need to raise those hips back up a little bit higher. Sometimes they start to sink on down. We are halfway. If you need to take a rest, by all means, I've got my ponytail caught underneath me, so I need to take a rest down. And 20 seconds left. Still trying to stay long in that lower spine. There you go. Awesome, great control, crew. Maybe one more on each leg. 2, 1, and take a rest. As you lower those hips down, return to that double knee to chest. Loosen up that low back once more. We're gonna roll it on over, coming up into down dog. Great job. First series done. Let's take it on to all fours, coming up into down dog, opening that mid back. and we'll get a good stretch of the calves before we come up to standing. So hips high, pulsing, heart between the arms. Try to bring that chest closer to the thighs. Breathing in, rocking forward, breathing out, driving back. And then when you're ready, a nice stretch of the calves, pedal the heels. And a nice slow inchworm, crawling your hands towards your feet, walking your feet towards your hand. Maintain that nice soft bend of the knees. And then when you're ready, slowly come up out of that forward fold position. Fantastic. When you make it up to standing, some torso rotations, let those arms be nice and long. Turn that head and neck. Very nice. Walk those feet just a little bit wider. Draw those shoulders back behind the stretch, behind the back, stretch necks. Extend the elbows, long spine as you send those hips back. 2 to 3, nice deep breaths into the back. And then when you're ready, back up to standing. Good. Walking the feet in, coming on to single leg support for our quad stretch. We've got some deadlifts coming up. We've got some squats. Option of the bent over row, or as I mentioned on round 1, I'm going to demo the seated row with the band, and then I'll hold that bent over position on the second and the third round. Dips with the option of the glute bridge is our final exercise, switching on legs on that quad stretch. Always an option to either do an elevated push-up or a regular push-up, or even a dumbbell overhead tricep extension is a great sub if you don't have a chair or a bench for the dips, or if you have any discomfort in the front of the shoulders. So keep that in mind. All right, loosen that foot up. Let's warm up about 5 squats here together. Set those feet, eyes up. When you're ready, reach those arms out, lowering those hips back and down. Squeeze the glutes as you stand tall. Wonderful. Breathing in, reaching back, breathing out. Good. So you're going to be working that full range squat. Sometimes we work that shorter range squat to get a little bit more burr in the legs, but today we're working on that range of motion. Hip circles next. We're going to start our first series of this next circuit here in about 30 seconds. We'll be working 45 seconds on each exercise, starting with those deadlifts. So when you're ready, go ahead and start to bring your weights on over. What you want to start with for that deadlift. And then more than likely, you'll have a slightly lighter weight for that squat. We're going to have that overhead reach as part of the thruster for today's exercise. So I've got a 35 and a 15 for my squat, whatever you have available. And then when you're ready, we're going to treat this first set of deadlifts like a nice solid warm up. So set the feet, draw that stomach in. You're hinging at the hips, driving the knees out. And then when you're ready, you drive through those legs, squeeze the glutes and stand. Here we go. Breathing in as you lower, breathing out as you stand. Just those basic movements, working the back side of the body. And that midline. We can oftentimes underestimate how much we use our core strength when we pick objects up off the ground, but it's that core and that midline that's working to stabilize that spine. So it's all designed to work together. Wonderful. Knees push wide, back stays flat. Good position, crew. Couple more. And 2, 1, take a rest. Set that aside, getting ready for those squats next. So you can go unweighted on the first round if you choose, and just reach up to overhead or grab a light to moderate weight. Feet about hip width apart. 2, 1, begin. So into that squat, and then engage those glutes. Press that weight straight up to overhead. You want to watch that midline posture, no overarching. Beautiful. Now we're focused on eyes up. Our gaze changes during that deadlift. So you hinge forward for the squat. More appropriate to have a steady object that you're focused on as you move. Wonderful. Good pacing on this first set. Good. Maybe one more. And rest. Wonderful. So either sit on down on the ground or the bent over row is going to look more like this. I'm going to show that seated row this time. If you are seated, sit up nice and tall, right on the edge of the sit bones. And then 2, 1, here we go. So bent over row or seated row. Breathe in on that forward reach. Breathe out as you draw it back and in. So isolating that mid-back position here, right between those shoulder blades. And then those of you that might choose the bent over option, you can even use it with the bands. I'm going to probably show the band on the first round next set, or with a dumbbell. Good, almost there, a couple more reps. And final time, awesome job. All right, coming on up, making your way to a chair or a bench. I'm going to use this box right here for our dips next. Being that it's a longer interval, I'm going to slow down that cycle time with adding that hip bridge at the top. Shoulders back and down. And when you're ready, nice and controlled, lowering down to that dip, elevating those hips up and forward. Beautiful. Choosing that overhead extension, just make sure you don't overarch that spine. Squeeze the glutes. Excellent. Those of you on the dip portion here, just similar to what we talk about on our push-ups a lot. Keep those elbows drawn in, make sure they don't wing wide. And it's common here, you'll feel a nice opening in the front of that shoulder as you lower on down. 10 seconds. 2, 1, and rest. Great job. We'll take 30 seconds, grab a drink of water, and then we'll be back to the deadlift. If you can go a little bit heavier and hold uneven weights, we have 2 more rounds to go. So that's what I'm going to demo on this next 2 deadlifts. For this round, I'm going to have my lighter weight on the left side, my heavier weight on the right. And instead of the weights being between my legs, I'm going to walk my feet a little bit closer, bring the weights on the outside. So your choice, midline level, hinging forward, and here we go. Lots of ways to be creative at home. If you don't have traditional weights like dumbbells and kettlebells, you can get creative with, like empty laundry detergent containers. It's okay. Those paws, Moose. Kettlebell wouldn't feel good. Different size water bottles, different jugs. You can technically put like weights in a laundry basket. Be smart. But be creative. We're almost there. Staying strong through the middle. Long spine as you stand. 2, 1, and rest. Woo! Good job. Back to the squats. The overhead reach. Set those feet just a slight toe out. And when you're ready, all the way down. Elevate nice and high. And then similar, I'm holding 1 weight this time. I could also hold 1 weight in each hand. And heavier weight will get you breathing a little bit stronger. Smile through it. Middle part of round 2. That's 30 seconds, 15 to go. Great depth. Nice, good, Kathy, you look strong, Sharon. Great overhead reach. Good, Jean, get elbows up and forward. And take a rest. Awesome job. Bent over row, or that seated row. I show the bent over now. Just gonna stand right on the center of the band. Long spine. When you're ready, you're welcome to stick with that seated position. Reaching forward, drawing up and back. You do choose the bent over version, so it's going to challenge the back side of the body a little bit more. So Hamstrings come into play, glutes come into play, and a little bit more challenge for that core to stabilize. But everyone's position looks great here. Nice, Jean. Yep, using those dumbbells. Wonderful. Activate the front of that neck. Draw that chin in. Get out a momentary pause. Squeezing those hands in towards the chest. Final time. 2, 1, and rest. Good. Dip or tricep extensions. As you come into position, draw the shoulders back. 2, 1. Here we go. Posture is really key at the top of that dip. Trying to draw the shoulders down out of the ears. Open the chest as much as you can. And then those of you working that glute bridge, squeeze the tush. Elevate through the front of the hips. Great job. 10 seconds. Eyes forward. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good job. If you're wearing the bands, let the air out for the final round. I'm going to take 30 seconds. We're back for our final time through. If you were using uneven weights on the deadlift, it was lighter weight in the left hand. So now this round's going to be lighter weight in the right hand. Woo-hoo. All right, final time through. Good positions. Check in with the belly. Make sure we're not in that sway back posture. 2, 1. Third round. Good. Keeping that long spine position. You push those hips straight back. Eyes gazing down as you hinge forward. And then find that spot straight ahead as you stand tall. Wonderful. Breathing in on the down, breathing out on the up. Almost there. 2, 1, and rotate. Back to the thruster. Set the feet. Elbows up and forward. And here we are. Final bit of squats for the day. So if you want to challenge yourself on this, now's the time. Moose, moose. Good. Pulling down, driving up strong through the legs. Knees stay pushed wide throughout. Common to feel you're breathing a little bit higher this time. Try to keep it consistent. 30 seconds done. Squeeze those glutes as you reach high. Awesome. 2, 1, and transition. Bent over or seated row next. Whew. All right. For that bent over version, toes forward, feet a little bit closer. Draw the stomach in. And when you're ready, here we go. Reach forward, draw back. Add that extra little pause in the back. Excellent. Looks good, crew. Very nice. Good soft bend those knees. Looks nice, Sharon. Good, Kathy. Sitting tall. "15 seconds left. I can really add that extra squeeze. Reach it out. Hold a bit. All right, final rep. In for 3, 2, 1, and all done there. Nice job. Finishing out with the dips with the overhead extension. Shoulders back. And when you're ready. Now, if you want higher volume here on the dips, if you want more reps, you could take that bridge out of it, and that's going to turn your cycle time over a little bit faster. Good. Nice, Jean. I like that bent over tricep extension. Very good. Good variation. Wonderful. Good rhythm, Amy. Kathy, just watch those knees don't dive in. Keep them nice and parallel. Strong. Here you go, Sharon. Keep squeezing that tush. Watch that you don't want to start to overextend on those overhead extensions. Final few reps. And all done. Woo! Awesome job. Shake it out. Let's grab a drink. We're going to have a short stretch. If you're short on time, you can use this as your cool down stretch. Otherwise, we're going to have one more series coming up next. All right, we're going to do a little side stretch first. We're going to stagger the foot. So establish one foot forward, step the other foot back, hand to the shoulder. You can lean towards that side and then up and over the head as you lean away. Peer up to that hand. And then try to flex or squeeze your glute of that leg that's stepping back. Get a little bit more open on the front of the hip. And we'll do that twice more. Coming down, lean, bend towards. Reach up high, bend away. Head rotates as well. So you have palm down towards the floor. Good. One more time. Relax the arm down and nice and long. So easy to kind of forget that side body, but it really helps that low back to not get bound up when you're ready. Walk that back foot in between sides, a little hip circle. And circle the opposite way. Good. And then same thing other side. Anchor that front foot down, other foot back, hand to the shoulder, bending towards that side, and then stretching nice and long, up and away, palm down, peering up. About 3 nice strong breaths, and then we relax out of it, bending towards, reaching up, spread those fingers wide as well. And now focus in on that trail leg, trying to flex that glute. Feel how the front of that hip opens ever so slightly as you squeeze the glute. One more time, relaxing out of it. And stretch it up, lengthen through that side body. Breathe. And shake it out. Good job. Back to our arm swings. All right, for our final series here, we're going to be working that torso row. So we'll be in that stagger stance with that option to have that nice rotation pulling through. Sometimes that gets people a little bit stiff in that mid back. You can always keep your hips and shoulders square. I just like to add that rotation in every so often to really help keep that rib cage open. In between arms, we'll be doing some jump jacks. Then we'll be doing the opposite arm. And we're going to do our march or skip and punch. And then we come down for a forearm plank, whatever weight you're using on that torso row. We're going to use it for that plank drag through down on the ground. And then we finish with a little bit of rebounding, and we're going to do it 3 times through. 20 seconds till we start. So really you need about 1 dumbbell for this. A nice long stance. Draw that stomach in, hinging forward. And when you're ready, pull the elbow straight up, lift out of the downside shoulder as you follow that elbow with your gaze, peering up. Add a little pause in the top, and then reach it forward and move through again. So elbows nice and tight to the side. Good. Halfway through, so you could even go like halfway rotation, and then second half of the interval, you could stay square, kind of find that middle ground. That's what's going to feel best for me right now. 10 seconds left. The rotation feels good throughout, then just go with that. Couple more times. 2, 1, and pause. Make sure you have a nice clear space. Set that weight down. Ensure you know which arm you're just working with. And when you're ready, 20 seconds of jump jack. Excellent. Hands touch in front of the body and up to overhead. Keep those shoulders open. 2, 1, and back to the opposite arm. Excellent job. We'll take 10 seconds. It's enough time to get into position. Square those hips and shoulders. Ready, begin. So draw that elbow up and back. I like to imagine I have a string or a wire attached to the back of that elbow. I got a little friend up in the attic that's just pulling that elbow nice and high, giving me that lift. And then it's my job to follow it with the gaze, get that full rotation through those shoulders, through the spine, that upper neck. Good. Got about 20 seconds left. I'm going to keep my hips and shoulders square for that second half. Moose. Chin in, eyes forward. Focus on that shoulder blade position. And pause. Great job. Coming back up to standing. Now we're working that march. We'll get that cross body action going with that cross body punch. Knees nice and high. You're welcome to turn this into a skip. I'm just going to keep it a march for now. Breathing out as you punch. Our plank drag through is next. Good. 2, 1, and make your way to the floor on the forearms. Take your weight with you. Starting on one side of the body. Place those feet about the width of your mat or just outside the hips. And then when you're ready, reaching under the body, pulling it across. Squeeze that tush, staying as strong as you can through the center. Drag the puppy dog. Good, and anytime if you feel like you can't hold that low back position, please come on down to the knees or just hold a flat plank. You don't want to feel like you're overarching that spine. We're over 30 seconds in. 10 seconds left. And 2, 1. We give a quick stretch here. Dropping on back into a child's. A nice child stretch, and then coming back up to the feet. Either take a full rest here or join me for a little bit of some rebounding. Lateral hop side to side. Oh yeah, Moose thinks this is a game. He's like, this is my turn to play. This is the end of our first set. In 20 seconds, we'll be starting set number 2. Back to that torso row. Oh yeah. All righty. 10 seconds. Pick that arm you're going to start on. Back to round 2. Hey, no. Long spine, draw the belly in. And here we go. We didn't get nearly enough energy out this morning, huh? Reaching forward, drawing it up and in. The basics class on Monday got to hear his little attitude near the end. He likes to bark to get our attention now, using his voice a little bit more. All right, we're over 20 seconds in. You can either keep that rotation, or if you want to square it up for the last little bit, a little bit faster tempo when you square those shoulders. And 3, 5 seconds. 2, 1, and coming on up. We got our jump jacks first. Standing tall. When you're ready, step or jump. Here we go. Moose. It's all right. Having some fun. Good job, folks. Play with the puppy or jump jacks. Final 10 seconds on the jump jack. And we'll get ready for that opposite arm. Torso row. 2, 1, and transition. Coming down for that opposite side. Lengthen to that spine, anchor into that front leg, and begin. Nice rotation. Keep that focus of expanding up and out of that downside arm. Breathe in as you reach forward. Breathe out into that rotation. You'll get a little bit more movement through the rib cage. Wonderful. Good. Coming up on that 30-second mark, I'm going to square it up for the last 15 seconds, reaching forward, up and down. And that same thing we've been talking about, that head position. Just we'll tend to lose that head and neck forward. So continue to like retract that chin back and in. Nice long spine and rotate. As you come on up, we've got our marching. We're just looking for a cross crawl. If you want to challenge that midline a little bit more, let's go into those alternating knee to elbow. Plank drag through coming up next. We'll start in 15 seconds. So a couple more of these. Nice and level through the hips. And make your way to the floor. Grabbing that dumbbell. Forearms down, palms down. Here we are. 45 seconds begins. The end of round 2, we're going to have one more time through. You should feel that back side of the body fire as you shift that weight. Head and shoulders nice and neutral. No pain in that low back. 30 seconds done. There you go, almost there. Rebounding jumps are next. Ooh. 2, 1, and back up to the feet. If you want to stretch in that child stretch and place the rebounding, feel free. Otherwise, little side to side hop, pump those arms at the sides as well. 10 more seconds. All right, fantastic. Feel free if you want to grab a quick drink. 20 seconds. Be back for our third and final time. All right, 10 seconds. Doing great, folks. Keep hanging in there. Draw the belly in, long step back, and round 3 begins. Reach, lift, peering high. You want to feel that shoulder blade just gently move against the rib cage. Try to really focus on keeping it down out of the ear. Gentle breathing. Good. There's our 30-second. I'm going to square it up a little bit faster tempo here for the final 15 on this side. Build that strong back. 5 seconds. 2, 1, and pause. Jump jacks. Dance, anything else you want to do? Otherwise, 20 seconds. 10 more. Good crew here today. And there's that rest. 10 seconds will be on to our final dumbbell row. Mind centered. Set it out. 2, 1, here we go. Keep that focus. Working those positions. Your body thanks you for hanging in here. Yes, Moose is just tearing up apart his animal. Got a little girl that comes with her mom and trains with me, and she got to see one of his horse friends when it was a newer animal, and she asked where it was. So you might know the horse named Spirit was gifted to Moose, and it's now has no legs left on its body, and she's about 3 years old. She had this look on her face like, ah! All right, that's our 30-second mark. Final 15, I'm going to square those hips and shoulders. But she is her family fostered Moose, so they've known him since he was a wee little guy. Fun to still have that contact. Almost there to that 45, 2, 1, and all done there. Come on up. You can either march and skip with that crossbody punch, Or you can join me for that alternating knee to elbow. Really drive those knees nice and high. See if you can make contact to that elbow. Wonderful. Breathing out as you draw up and across. A little balance work in disguise here. You all make it look smooth. Great job. Final 10 seconds. And then we're going to finish with that plank drag through, and we'll stay on the ground for a final stretch. Here we go. Making your way down. Palms down. And 45 seconds begins now. Hips as level as you can to the shoulders. You notice I'll tend to want to pike them up. I'd rather see you in a bit more of a piked position than that extended position, because it is going to protect the back a little bit more. Try to make it a little game with yourself. That if I were standing over top, it would try to make it hard to know that you are switching sides. As little movement as possible. Good. 10 seconds left. Hey, buddy, did you come to help? And 3, 2, 1. There's your 45. Woohoo! All righty, bring your big toes together. Walk those knees out. Walk the hands straight out, and then drop yourself back. Ah, nice deep child stretch. Deep breath into the sides of the rib cage. On the exhale, see if you can lower that chest a little bit more. Good, come on up out of that. We're gonna add the side leg. So take your left leg, extend it straight out, turn the sole of your foot down to the mat, and then same side arm gently reaches across the body. If you want to stay in that back position, you can, or we can rock it forward, rock it back, keep it a bit more dynamic to open up that inner thigh. And a bit of that stretch on that side of the body. I love adding the cross body reach with the arm. You are doing those rock backs, 1 or 2 more. And then even it out on the other side. Walk it in. Extend that leg. Sole the foot down. Arm reaches across. And then same idea here. Breathing in as you rock forward. Breathing out as you rock back. Bow that head down. Not living and stretch. A couple more. And then we're going to do our down dog flow into that pigeon and seated twist. So if that pigeon is a tough stretch for you, if you want to bring a block or a pillow over, you can go ahead and do that. If your water glass is nearby, let's grab a drink. And then we'll go into that last series.
Yeah, no, I'm all sweaty. Oh, yeah.
All righty. So once again, it'll be a little flow here. So we'll first make our way into down dog. Place the hands hips high. No rush here. Take your time. Get some good opening for that mid back. Draw that chin in towards your chest. We did a good amount of little hops and stretches today, so you can pedal out those heels. And then when you're ready, let's start with the right leg. You're going to extend it nice and high. Point the toe. Reach that leg up towards the ceiling. And then when glide it forward. Coming into pigeon. I spend about 45 seconds here, so just try to be as comfortable as you can for a pigeon stretch. Okay. Making your way down onto the forearms if you'd like. Bow the head down and breathe. You want to feel that opening of the hip without it being to the point that you're like, feel like you're sweating bullets or it's super painful. As you come up out of that a bit, if you do want to grab that trail leg with the same side hand. We called it the ultimate stretch at my old gym. Long spine, eyes up. And then from there, we're going to sit onto that right hip, and then your left leg's going to swing around for a seated twist. Sitting up as tall as you can, interlace the hands, just gradually make your way into this twist. And then lots of different variations you can use. So your choice, I like to bring that left hand behind me, curl those fingers around, and I'm working that right elbow on the left thigh. On that inhale, lift up tall out of your spine. On the exhale, see if your body wants to rotate just a bit more, turning the head and neck as well. When you're ready, gradually unwind from there. And then we're going to go same thing on the opposite side. So if that was the left leg you're hugging in, that's the leg we're going to extend up. Place those hands, draw that belly in. Here we go. Rocking forward, rocking back. While we're here, another stretch for the calves. Can you lower both heels down together? Instead of the pedal, change it up a little bit. And then when you are ready, the left leg, point the toe, extend through that hip, nice and high, nice and long. And then glide it forward, squaring that shin and hips to the shoulders best you can. We spent about a minute on that first side, so we'll do the same thing here, easing your way into it. So if I were to use a block or anything, I would put it right in front of my body so that I could take a little pressure off. But if you are good to come deeper, you can come down to those forearms, bow the head down and breathe. Stay a bit engaged through that outer hip so you're not just dropping into that joint. And then as I choose, if I come up high, I can use the same side hand to grab that trail leg, add a little quad stretch into the game. And then when you're ready, we'll release out of that pigeon, coming on to the left hip, and that right leg swings around. No hamstring cramps. Sit up nice and tall, hug it in. Good. Now we're just looking to calm the body with the breath. You can use that right hand reaching behind, crawl the fingers around. Whatever version of a seated twist you like best or feels best for your body. Long neck, turn that head as well, looking over the shoulder. When you're ready, go ahead and release. Fantastic. So feel free to unwind your body and then just make your way onto your back. Bringing your arms up to overhead. Stretch as long as you can from the tips of your fingers to the bottoms of your feet. And then as you feel, just bring the arms to the side, palms up. Just take a short pause here. Great time to bring yourself into gratitude. Thankful for what your body can provide. Grateful for this community that we have here to meet online and to move together. Thank you so much. Please stay hydrated, stay healthy, and don't forget that life is meant to be enjoyed. So I hope you do something that brings your heart some joy this weekend. See you next time.